Chilling tales for dark nights.
Want to make sure you never miss a Chilling Tales for Dark Nights video again? Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to turn on notifications.
This is a story. It happened to a buddy of mine who recently retired. Wherever you are and whatever you do next, I wish you the best of luck, my brother. I'm praying for you. The story goes like, it was a rainy day back in August, in the early 90s. He was still fairly new, a brand new officer, still full of hope. Said never seen a bad accident or anything other than that. Just a few bad fights, you know. So tonight was just a slow night like any other. Not many calls coming in a quiet town they stayed in. Say he got up, yawned, and stepped out of the car to get him a cup of cheap coffee from the gas station. Say he remembered standing around and talking with his partner while watching the rain fall out the window. And right then a call came in over the radio. A call for a welfare check of a resident, an adult male. Family ain't seen him for a week or two. Units en route respond. They came out over the radio. Say he looked at his partner and they shrugged, and she let dispatch know that they would be en route. They arrived at the house and met the caller, the home's owner's sister. She was extremely concerned about her brother, as no one in her family had heard from him in a week. He wouldn't even answer the phone, wouldn't come to the door, and they couldn't see through any of the windows, but they knew his car was there. They asked the sister to sit and wait on the sidewalk, and they walked up to the house, knocked on the door saying, "State police, come to the door, come to the door." But there wasn't no answer. They knocked again and again and again, but still no answer. The sister kept calling, ringing the phone, still no answer. They could hear the phone ringing inside the house, but they never saw any movement. No lights would come on or anything. His partner approached him, and they went around to the back of the house, and they found a window on the back door had been busted. She reached through and unlocked the door, and he followed right behind her. They soon found the occupant in the attic, a knocked-over chair on the floor next to him, and an extension cord around his neck tied to the roof support. He had only heard stories about officers finding suicide victims. It's so sad. It's sickening the first time. He looked at the victim, his neck elongated like a giraffe from hanging, his face frozen in pain, purple. He felt sick. He had to do all he could to stop himself from throwing up, because he still had a job to do. They cordoned off the house, had the crime scene come out, and followed the usual protocol. Evidence techs, chaplains, investigators. Other officers all arrived to fulfill their duties. My buddy did the best he could to hold it together until the crime scene was released. But the image seemed to stick with him more than anyone else there. He sat in his car, unable to get the image out of that man, get the image of that neck out of his head. His partner kept asking if he was okay. She knew it was the first time he ever seen a suicide death, or a death in general. He just kept saying, "Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." But he knew he was lying. She did too. I don't know if you're much for prayer, but maybe you ought to speak to the chaplain. It might do you some good, is what she told him. But he just kept on repeating, I'll be okay. Later that night, he sat at home, smoking a cigarette at the kitchen table, drinking a glass of bourbon. Had the TV on in the living room just to get some background noise. So I just failed attempt at keeping his mind off things. He looked out the kitchen window and into the backyard. And he saw him, standing right outside his window, staring right at him. His face still frozen in pain and purple. His neck still stretched. Standing in the backyard, reaching out towards him. He could barely hear his voice through the window saying, "Help me. Help." He's got up and jumped backwards, falling out the chair, knocking the bourbon over, hitting the floor. Hit his head on the counter, and he fell unconscious. When he woke up the next morning, bright and early, his head was killing him. He would see this man, though, every night for the next 2 weeks. He would stay up all night until it began affecting his work. He had to go get him some help. He spoke to the department chaplain and the psychologist. It kind of helped for a little while. But sometimes, when he was so stressed out from the job and from life itself, whenever he would start feeling like a failure and like he should give up on life, the man comes back. The Giraffe Man comes back.
Chilling tales for dark nights.